Hey, welcome to AmTryke Mechanics. Our short videos are meant to instruct you on how to set up and install parts and features on AmTrykes. That'll make them work better for your riders. Hello. Today we're going to talk about installing handbrakes on AmTryke Pro Series models. The 1412, the small bike you see here, the 1416 and the 1420. You can install a standard handbrake that comes with those for the rider to use on the handlebars on each of those models. We'll give you a quick tutorial on how to do that properly. The brake can be installed on the front handlebar for the rider. Here I'm going to install it on the bare part because we haven't given this bike away yet, so we don't know which hand is going to be appropriate for the rider. So we'll mount it here until the giveaway event. Once we know where the rider needs it or can use the brake, then we'll trim some of the foam off this upper part of the bar and remount the brake for the rider's use. So now let's install our brake lever temporarily on the handlebar. Use the hex head bolt to attach this. It requires a 5/32 Allen key. Take the barrel end of the brake cable and drop it into the hole in the handle. When you turn it, it'll drop into the slot in the handle and into the slots in the ferrule. If you rotate the ferrule around and also this adjustment nut, now the cable's trapped and can't get out. Now we'll install the brake cable. The C-clamp brake mounts on the front fork as you see it. It mounts to the front and you tighten it up back here using a 10mm wrench. You can also use a 10mm socket if you've got those tools available. So next, use the 8mm wrench to loosen the cable clamp. Then take your brake, move the cable, drop it through the adjustment ferrule, down through the hole in the cable clamp, and seat the end of the cable securely into the adjustment ferrule. Unscrew the ferrule nut about 3/4 of the length of the shaft and then tighten up the little nut at the bottom. This allows you to adjust the brake later on. To tighten your brakes, make sure that the brake handle is extended all the way, that the ferrules are seated, the cables are seated well into the ferrules, and then you can tug on the line to make sure there's no play in the cable. Now we're ready to tighten our brake cable. Using my left hand, I'm going to pinch down the brake so that I have about 1/4 inch to 3/8 inch between the brake pads and the rim on each side. We don't want it to be too tight here or we won't be able to lock our brake in the future. So make sure your cable is seated into the ferrules, that your handle's fully extended, and once you've got the brakes positioned the way you want, use an 8mm to tighten the brake cable just firm enough so that you can test it. Now I'll test the brakes to see if they're adjusted properly. I'll pick up the bike, spin the front wheel, work the brake lever, and voila, they stop perfectly. Okay, so now we want to lock our brake. Make sure that when we lock the brake, the bike's not moving around. So we squeeze the brake handle, and there's a button on the top of the handle that locks it in a tight position. So now my bike's tight and it's not rolling around. Hey, thanks for watching AmTryke Mechanics. We'll continue to produce these videos for you to make your AmTrykes work better.
let us know if you've got some features you think you could use some help with, or we should add a feature for.